In the northernmost region of Chile and in the eastern border region with Bolivia extends a natural wonder that's one of the most elevated locations on Earth, the Parque Nacional Lauca. In 1970, a nature reserve was founded in this remote location that is extremely important for both animal and plant life. The vegetation reflects the severity of the climate. It's a fragile balance that could easily be destroyed. A single road between Chile and Bolivia reaches the entrance into a magnificent natural world. Here are the branches of the Altiplano, the Andean high plain that extends to the north of Chile. Lauca Park is also the realm of the Andean condor. The average altitude of this remarkable region is 4,500 meters above sea level. The lives of both wildlife and humans are dominated throughout the year by overwhelming nature. Streamlets of melting water from the high mountains bring extra life to a landscape that is determined by the little rainfall it receives. The slopes of the undulating high plateau are covered with volcanic sand that cannot retain water. Only single tufts of grass and herbs grow here. A bodefal is a wetland that forms at the bottom of the valleys between the hills. These are swamp-like areas. Without them, livestock breeding would be impossible. Vicuñas, llamas and alpacas graze on the green pasture within the demanding landscape. The wetlands provide good nourishment. Condors circle high above the wetlands, waiting to pounce, selecting their next meal. The Paninacota volcano has an icy, snow-capped peak. It's situated at an altitude of 6,342 meters above sea level. On the flat, high plateau of the Altiplano are glittering lagoons whose white frames are created by salt. Waterfowl enjoy bathing at high altitude. And volcanoes reflect majestically in the waters of the lagoon. In the high green valleys, there are large herds of wild alpacas. Here there's a good supply of grass and herbs. They feel safe here. The plants that grow in a boreal often appear in groups that appear out of the water, colourful areas within green surroundings. Alpacas are the domestic form of the vicuña that belongs to the camelid family. They have a slender body, around 150 centimetres long. Its long, soft fur produces the shining and slightly curled alpaca wool, mostly coloured white, grey, brown or black. The boreal is a vital source of nourishment for the llamas and alpacas, a picturesque, idyllic green landscape crossed by small rivers. The Lago Trungara is the highest lake on Earth. Lying at an altitude of 4,570 meters above sea level, it's even featured in the Guinness Book of Records. Close to the Bolivian border, the peaks of the Andes Cordillera, although not massive, look most impressive and measure 6,000 meters above sea level. This is the realm of the Aymara Indians. In their mythology, this wild land and its volcanoes are sacred. For them, nature is part of the family. Although there is sufficient water here, the mixed climate makes it difficult for the vegetation. Ice-cold winds, low temperatures, and intense heat. Coots have built their nests on the banks of the lake. For them, the water and vegetation help to form the ideal habitat. Due to the high altitude of the mountain lake, there's not a huge amount of wildlife. Sometimes wild ducks and flamingos appear, but not in large groups. About 8,000 years ago, the Parinacota volcano erupted and a huge avalanche blocked the flow of water. So this lake originated. It is a natural habitat for only certain varieties of plants and wildlife. Life here is determined by the extreme conditions, at an altitude of more than 4,000 meters above sea level. In all of its splendor and originality, the Parque Nacional Lauca is one of the finest natural wonders on Earth.